What Jesus says in the gospel today is a well-known quote where he says, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but repay to God what belongs to God." And it seems kind of simple when you say it, but maybe it's not all that simple. It's easier to imagine what it is that we need to pay to Caesar, the government, whatever. Taxes, and if you don't pay them, somebody will come and tell you. Obeying just laws, we owe that to our government and to our society. Participating in government in terms of things of voting and a list of other things. That's a lot easier to figure out. What is it that we owe, and so that we can repay that. But it's not quite so easy when it comes to repaying to God what belongs to God, is it? You can say, well, I'll pay my 10%, the tithing, which the Bible talks about. I'll pay the 10% and I'm done with it. We could say that, as if the God of the whole universe, of all that is created, is going to be satisfied with our 10%. You can also say that everything belongs to God, so I'll give him my everything. Except, what's that look like? Practically speaking. Let's see if we can break that open a little bit. In the gospel, Jesus says, when they said they were to pay the tax or not, he says, "Give me a coin." He gives them the coin, says, "Whose image is that?" They said, "Well, Caesar's." And he says, "Then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. The image is on the coin, give it back." We all know and have heard to believe that what it says in the book of Genesis, that we are made in the image and likeness of God. So God's image is stamped upon us, within us. So we are to give ourselves back to God. Live out God's image. Right? So what's that look like? Dr. Madison Surratt taught mathematics at Vanderbilt University for many years. Before giving a test, the professor would admonish his class, "Today, I'm giving you 2 examinations, one in trigonometry and the other in honesty. I hope you will pass them both, fulfilling your obligations to your teacher and to your God. If you fail trigonometry." There are many good people in the world who can't pass trigonometry. But there are not many people in the world who cannot pass the examination of honesty, the debt we owe to God. It is stamped within us. And if we go about not being honest, if we go about telling lies and being dishonest, we feel it, don't we? We don't feel clean, whole anymore. Who was it says, if you tell the truth, you don't need a good memory? So what we're called to repay to God is to live out the image that he has sown within us. One is the truth and honesty. It's also integrity, being the people who we say we are and are called to be. I don't put on a show. I don't try to mask anything. I'm not living a double life. I'm the person trying to be the person, and hopefully to some degree succeeding in being a person of integrity. That it all fits together around what it is that we believe and around our values. I am a person, we might say, and I hope we can, that respects others because I want to be respected, and respects others as God respects others, because God doesn't demand that we love him, and if we don't, we're going to get it. Who wants to be loved because they're afraid of getting punished? He calls it forth and says, "This is what I've given, please give that back." And give it back by loving others. The image within us Jesus Christ, we know in the letter to the Colossians, says he is the image of the invisible God. He came to love and to serve others. That's the image stamped within us. That's the image we are to live out. Patience. God is patient. Thank you. He is patient. And we are called to be patient. It is stamped within us. Even if sometimes we can't find it, it's still there. We are called to be patient with one another as we are patient, as God is patient with us. It's stamped within us. And I could go on with other values. But that's what it means, at least part of what it means, to give back to God what belongs to God. His image within us belongs to him. Our living it out gives it back. And we give it back by sharing that, who we are, what we have, with others. Now, I wish I could say that all we have to do is look at our leaders and they'll show us what it's like, because we elected them, they're to be our, examples of what's, okay, I can't say it even. Anybody here tired of looking at the news or reading it? Yeah, and I'm not talking about any specific party, because they all do the same thing. We don't get the whole truth. They don't respect one another. They don't get together and talk. They don't try to cooperate. That's all bad news. So I wouldn't say look there, except maybe Pope Francis. I think he's different, But rather, the good news is that God's image is stamped within us, and we have it within us, with God's grace, to live it out. To be an image of the invisible God like Jesus was. And even though we fail, that is our call. To give back to God that image which has been sown within us. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. How is it that I could be, with the help of God, how is it that I can be a better image of God? How can I give back to him what it is he gave me, who it is he made me to be?